Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 1098 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today we're going to talk about AI brainstorming, how it's going to help you with that. And I've got another AI tip. If you saw my masterclass on AI, I talked about master prompts. And I'm going to give you a little extra tip on master prompts, and I'll go ahead and re-explain it for you here in a minute. All right, hope you didn't miss episode 1097. That was good is good enough. That's how perfectionism will kill you, and strategies to get over it if you have that little problem. All right, pick up a copy of my automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate-free. Version 3.0 is current. And let's see, check out my mentor program at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com and my school at imtcva.org, certified to operate by Chev. Okay, let me give you this little extra tip from my masterclass. If you're using like ChatGPT or any of the AI programs, you can put in a master prompt so that everybody, or not everybody, that the AI program kind of knows about you, so that when you ask it something else or you try to do something else, it already knows a lot about you. That's called a master prompt. And you can get the AI programs to help you create your own master prompt. In fact, you ask it in a prompt to help you interview you and help you create your own master prompt. And then it's going to ask you a bunch of questions about your business and all that stuff. And you're going to have this big document kind of. But what happens is if you did a good job answering all the questions, the document is going to be too big to put in the master prompt area. But you want to save it. So you want to save it for use on really important stuff. But you're going to take the one that you got and you're going to put it into the prompt area and say, hey, reduce this so that it'll fit into the master prompt area. And it'll do an abbreviated version that you can use for most everything. But if something's really important, you copy the full master prompt into your prompt area and then ask your question or, do whatever you're going to do in there. So that's your little extra tip on master prompts. And pretty soon I'll have my complete masterclass available for sale. We'll tell you about that when we get that ready. Okay, here we go. Brainstorming. So you can tell your AI, let's just use ChatGPT because a lot of you are using that, but it's the same for all of them. You can tell ChatGPT to take the role of a customer and give objections, and you are going to try to answer the objections, and then AI will critique your answers to the objections. So it's going to brainstorm on objections. After you put your master prompt in, it's going to know about your products and services, say. So it'll come up with objections as if they were a customer, and then you can practice in a safe environment overcoming those objections and coming up with the best ones. All right, so that's one kind of brainstorm. And then another kind is you can tell it your idea that you're going to maybe create something new, or you plan on doing X, Y, and Z with your business, or you're going to incorporate, or whatever it happens to be. And you're going to ask the ChatGPT for where are the gaps in my reasoning. Brainstorm on all the things I should be thinking about if I'm going to do this X, Y, and Z thing. So that's another kind of brainstorming. And then, here's one that I use. Every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, I get an email with 3 podcast ideas and also the reasoning of why ChatGPT thinks they are relevant. All right. So, after 1,100, we're almost hitting 1,100. We actually have more than 1,100 with some of our youth episodes. it's, I got to think, all right, what should I talk about now after 1,100 episodes? And so it gives me ideas. And if I think, oh, that's great, and I already know the topic, I'll just do a podcast on it. If I think the idea is great, but I don't really, I need to bone up on the topic, I'll research it, and then I'll do the podcast. See, so it's brainstorming for me on podcast ideas. And you could do the same thing for product ideas or whatever, all right? And also YouTube ideas. So if I can't think of what I want to shoot for a YouTube video that's current, then I'll throw it in there and get some ideas. Sometimes I don't use any of them. And a lot of times, like one of our previous episodes, I just get questions from people and then I shoot videos or answer those or create products based on what you all are asking me all the time. And you can do the same for ideas for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, postings, all of those things. Just throw it in there. And like I said, it knows you already if you've put the master prompt in, and then it'll give you answers based on what it already knows about you. All right. Another thing you can do if you want to really have the best chance of success, this is a YouTube related thing, but it'll work for any of the social media, is ask it to go out and find the most popular videos. Let's just use videos for this demonstration. Ask it to find the most popular videos on your topic, and then you look at them and see why they got so many views and this and that, and what they're about and how they were structured. And you don't copy them, but you recreate with your information something very similar. And that gives you a better chance of getting more views and going viral and all that stuff. So pretty much this brainstorming makes your life easier, because it gives you ideas rather than sitting there with a blank screen or a blank piece of paper and trying to think stuff up, when you're busy. Us small business people have a million things on our plate. So it just makes your life easier to come up with ideas. All right, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Make sure you do that master prompt thing, because that's the center of your ChatGPT. And if you have employees, make them do it too. I go into this in depth with hacks and things to make your master prompt better when I come out with the masterclass. So, or maybe you had seen it on the previous summit that I just did, or you bought the premium pass and you have access to it. So really dig into it, get that master prompt going, and then all these brainstormings will be much easier because it already knows about you. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, check out my school at imtcva.org. You actually get a scholarship to the school if you're in my mentor program at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. And it's going to save you hundreds of thousands of bucks from a 4-year, what I call indoctrination camps that, everybody else calls them universities. I say they just teach you how to protest, and then you graduate and you're competing for jobs at Starbucks. So my school gives you an actual in-demand skill in as little as 6 months, and we've actually had people making money before they graduated. So check it out, imtcva.org, and email me at tom@screwthecommute.com if you have any questions. There's no high pressure here. We just tell you what we can do for you, and if it's good for you, then we'll make it happen. All right, catch you on the next episode. See you later.